In this video, I'm redrawing an artwork I originally did way back in 2015, then I drew it again in 2017, and now I am recreating the Levi Ackerman artwork to see if I've progressed. This is a great way to directly compare how you do things differently in your artworks and hopefully see some progress. And with Attack on Titan Season 4 just about out, depending when you're watching this, maybe it's already out and finished, I thought it was a perfect time to revisit this awesome character, Levi Ackerman. I'm also going to be reading a fanfic based in the Attack on Titan universe. I'm just reading a fraction of the first chapter. There are actually over 40 chapters of this fanfic, and it goes really in depth and it seems like it's a really thought out story, so definitely go check it out if you want to continue the story. This is just a taster, dipping the toe in the water of what the story has to offer, and I'll leave links down below so you can go check it out. It's written by xDollfie. Go support the author and read the story for yourself. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and let's jump into the story. Enjoy. Humanity's strongest woman. In every kingdom, there is an epic era that defies the boundaries of time and immortalizes itself in the history books. Humanity has been plagued by giant humanoid creatures called Titans for over 100 years. For mankind, an epic era they will never forget has finally emerged. As the war with the Titans rages outside the walls, the dark secrets of humanity were slowly beginning to resurface. This was the year 849, and 4 years had passed since the fall of Wall Maria. Caught in between everything was the illegitimate daughter of a noblewoman, Ida Stark. Her world was left in anarchy when she was captured by her estranged father and forced into being a soldier for the Survey Corps. With the dangers of the world beyond the walls slowly crashing in on her, Ida's only grip on stability lies within the guidance of a certain crass captain and the dark secrets that her mysterious bloodline has hidden from mankind, holding a faint promise of ending the war. Betrayal, secrets, attachments, love. Their ending will conclude an epic war wrought with heartache, blood, and endless tears. Love will never conquer in a time like this, and by the end of her borrowed time, Ida Stark will find out if love in such a cruel world is truly worth it. Prologue. Weak? Yes, maybe you're right. I knew that if I were to survive, I'd have to be strong. But I am strong, for the simple fact that I'm a daughter, a lover, a mother, in a world like this. Don't you see it? I have the strength to live in this tainted world, through everything. And in the end, I still desire to live, even when I know how horrible living in this world could be. To be strong is to have a will to live, and an acceptance to die when it calls for you. Year 849. Captured, failure, agonizing hatred. There was a persistent acidic burn in her stomach. She could hear her thumping heart in her ears, could feel the warm, salty tears trailing down her cheeks. All of her senses had been intensified tenfold, and her tears seemed to be searing into her skin, as if to constantly remind her of her miserable defeat. Helpless, a voice inside her echoed, completely and utterly helpless. Beaten, broken, bitter. Clenching her jaw tightly, the metal handcuffs that held her wrists prisoner felt crippling as she twisted around uncomfortably, not caring if the rough steel grazed her skin and bruised it. Physical pain reminded her that she was still alive at the very least. There was a burning fury in her chest that wouldn't die out. It clawed into her heart, a blazing fire raging so violently that it spread throughout her entire body. The fury, the endless hatred and resentment burned relentlessly. And all she wanted was for it to stop. It was so uncomfortable, so tiring. It drained her of every last bit of energy. She just wanted everything to finally come to an end. To be this corrupted, this hateful, this vengeful for so long, it was enough to drive anyone insane. More than anything, she wanted to scream to the high heavens above, cursing them for condemning her to a life like this. And she would have, but her mouth was drier than an oven. There was always a strong belief that there was a heaven and a hell. It was said that the kind, the innocent, the good people went to paradise, relishing in an eternal peaceful afterlife. It was the condemned, the sinful, and the corrupted that went to the depths of hell. But then again, the existence of an afterlife was always debatable. But she knew for a fact, however, that there was a hell in this world. She had seen it, witnessed it, lived it, caused it even. Why? It was so utterly unfair. She didn't want to be like this, to harbour such a strong rage, resentment, and time-binding agony. These emotions were forced onto her, craving to destroy her very soul. She never wanted to kill. She never wanted to hate. And she never wanted to live in hell. All she had asked for was peace, happiness, a sense of belonging. However, it seemed that all those wishes were far beyond her reach. "Oi, get up." She slowly lifted her head to face the sudden cold voice in the vicinity, and her piercing emerald gaze met with the stranger's dull grey eyes. Haunting green eyes, he observed with an apathetic countenance when their gazes met. Eyes that know of misery. The man's expression was turned down in a scowl that creased his face, and made it seem like it was a permanent expression for him. His short black hair swayed when he bent down, and he released the chains attaching her to the pole with a click to the lock. She observed that he was still keeping the metal handcuffs around her wrist. "Erwin wants to see you in his office," he informed her in a flat monotone. "Hurry up." Breathe, she mentally prepared herself. You're not going down. Not like this. Reluctantly, she stood up, firmly maintaining her ever impassive expression. Despite the turmoil raging in her heart, she wasn't going to show anyone any sign of fear. She couldn't look weak, especially not in front of him. One would have never known the whirlwind of emotions she was currently experiencing with such a cool, stoic face. Her escort led her through the narrow hallways of the Survey Corps headquarters in a thick, tense silence. "Who's that brat beside the captain?" she heard someone say when she passed. Through a curtain of dishevelled and dirty red hair, she found herself staring at a couple donning military uniforms, a dirty blonde male and a petite ginger female. "Leave her be, Oreo. Orders from above," the woman beside him reminded sternly, swinging her disapproving eyes up to meet his. She elaborated when her companion gave her a frown. "She's an underground mercenary that got captured. Other than that, no further information has been given." Oreo Bizzardo scoffed hoitily, taking in the unknown woman's appearance. Bright red hair tied messily into a side braid, a tattered and torn black shirt, and bits of dried hardened blood clinging to the sides of her face and temples. "Huh, he said loudly, in stunned wonder when he saw her, turning back to his teammate. Why was that disgusting cow given to the captain to handle? Shouldn't she be handed over to the military police? Petrarel sighed, holding on to her obnoxious friend's shoulder. She already knew what he was about to ask. I don't know anything, she admitted with a shake of her head. Truly. Her response left him rather confused, but the redhead was sure that his gaze was full of contempt and disgust when he looked back at her. Well, we can't be having that filth around here while we work. Best she be gone soon. It's Commander Erwin's direct orders. We have no right to doubt him. Petra chided her friend for his insensitivity and gave him an immediate frown. I did hear that she's quite good at using gears though. Urio's thin brow immediately arched at her words. Crossing his arms on his chest, he eyed the redhead dubiously. That girl, just look at her. He threw a sharp glance at Petra, wanting her to see his point. His voice was laced with nothing but disdain. She's as frail as a twig, and she's basically shivering like she's about to wet herself. What he didn't know, however, was that she was shaking with rage, not fear. He sighed in defeat after Petra threw him another disapproving look. But if it's Commander Erwin's orders, I'll overlook it, he added softly, with an awkward scratch to his head. I just can't stand filth while I'm working. His comrade beside him heaved an exasperated sigh. You're trying to talk like Captain Levi again, aren't you? She berated him sharply, annoyed at Urio's weird obsession to mimic their captain. Stop that, you don't sound like him at all. She could hear them as they bickered childishly, their voices getting more distant as they travelled further down the hallway. Ignorant people, she cursed inwardly. But then again, how could she expect understanding from people like them? Soon enough, they arrived in front of a wide oakwood door. Her heart sank into the pit of her stomach when she realised the time had come. Like always, massive thanks to all my awesome patrons, who you can see on screen right now, for supporting the channel that little bit extra. But thank you to everyone who just watches my videos in general. It really helps out, and I'm glad people enjoy watching these videos, because I enjoy making them, and it makes me happy that people enjoy watching them. So thank you all, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.